Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with this beauty right over here. This is the ZT Zero Tolerance 0456 here with me in the house for a review. We're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this bad boy. But first of all, let me say a big thank you to my buddy Brandon for sending this guy along, so I'm able to share this one with you. And second, just don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content right over here. So let's check this guy out. This is, it's not a big knife whatsoever. It's 7.75 inch long overall with a 4.5 inch long handle and I would say 3.5 inch long blade. So not that big because, like, for example, you can check it out up against the Ontario Rat number 2. Maybe you happen to have an Ontario Rat number 1 and here you have it. You have them both compared to see that this guy is right in between these two options. Or maybe you're a Benchmade fan and you're gonna happen to have a mini bug out, which in this case you're gonna see that it's notably smaller than that. Also, like the bug out, it's still a little bit smaller than the 456. If you happen to be a Spyderco fan, here's your Para 3, and of course here's your Para Military 2 if you like bigger blades. And again, this is right in between these two offerings from Spyderco. Let me just show you also, like, if you like Chris Reeve knives, a little bit more expensive than Spyderco, of course. This is the small Sebenza 21, and here are the bigger brother and newer edition. This is the large Sebenza 31. You can see that, yeah, again, 0456 is right in between these two offerings from Chris Reeve Knife. This is instead the Custom Knife Factory 520, and this is also from Custom Knife Factory. This is the Snafu 2.0, so we are like a notch up again. And probably this is just a little bit smaller than the 520, which is a fantastic size. Let me just show you another couple options here. We've got another Sinkevich design. This is the Shirogorov collaboration. It's the Kami, which is a fantastic one. Let me show you also like another beautiful titanium frame lock. Would you look at this Koenig Knives RU Style 55? How cool is that? Let me show you also, like, for example, this is a Hinder Knives XM18 3.5 inch long blade, and yes, of course, Shirogorov F3NS in the house as well. And let me just show you another couple fancier options. Here we have Custom Division Neon and L, and another Custom Division F95 Antique, just to show you that this guy is right the same size of the Neon. Like, just, yeah, maybe a smidge bigger, but this is slender. This is another level, guys. Just stay tuned for the review of this bad boy. But I mean, you get the idea. You know that this is you know, it's not a huge knife, of course, but it's a little stout. It's tall. It is beautiful. I really like it. There's a couple of things I would have improved, but it's you know, not that bad at all. Sinkevich design, Dmitry Sinkevich is just fantastic. I mean, would you just look for a second at this line? Has some reminiscence, of course, of the Drunken. There's some aspects of these knives that are recurrent in the Sinkevich design, and I personally like it very much. This is a $260 knife, made in USA. It's a titanium frame lock, and its overall look when closed, I mean, there's some nice edges going on. There's some future infused into this design. Look at these milling lines. There's like 4 levels, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So like 4 chamfers, creating this nicely not rounded off, but I mean chamfered look. It's not a flat scale whatsoever, so it's gonna feel the hand very, very nicely. Of course, like, there is like a nice finish to it. It's like kind of like a very, very subtle stonewash affair going on the handle, with some nice chamfering all around. There's no internal skeletonization, and that's going to reflect into the weight. We're going to check it in a second, but the materials employed are pretty outstanding. Of course, this is titanium. There's also, as you can see maybe here, a little bit of chamfering going on the inside. Actually, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not extensive, but yeah, you can see that they put some work into this. Nice finger groove going on over here, a little bit recessed to leave some area here to disengage the lock bar. Nicely designed, 100%. And of course, finger groove, it's gonna fit in your hand beautifully. You have a titanium blue anodized backspacer going on, which is matching the clip, and of course the pivot on this side, and you have the option of a couple of standoffs provided, so you can choose. You see, you get 2 screws over here, and you put the standoffs here, and you get rid of the backspacer. So it's going to be totally up to you. You're going to save a little bit of weight also in that situation. The backspacer is nicely jimped, almost like integral. You see, it's almost fully reaching the heel of the blade, like the sharpening choil right over here, and then it's jimped, and then this area here is flush, and it's just protecting the tip of the blade beautifully, which you're not going to be able to touch in any way. So absolutely centered and safe indeed. The overall look when closed is nicely futuristic. Looks like some futuristic car kind of thing. I really like it. You've got the option of the lanyard hole going on over here, and you have titanium blue anodized tip-up carry only pocket clip. It's not, you cannot do tip down, but it's reversible, so you can just install it on the show side in this case. So pretty cool option. There's no disassembly video for this one because it's super straightforward, and this is not mine, so I'm not gonna take this guy apart, but I'm assuming it's quite simple. You've got 1 screw over here for the pivot and a couple of screws for the handle. The pivot is just protruding because it's designed like that, and it's captive on the back, as you can see, so it's not gonna go anywhere. There is something to notice because these 2 screws are directly screwed into the titanium right in the back, in the lock side, so that's not ideal, because if you happen to strip these screws, you're gonna be in trouble because you're gonna need another set of scale. I mean, at least 1. So that's probably not the best option for these screws. If you can do like 2 screws and like screwed into the standoff or into the backspacer, probably that would be a better option, I think. But the disassembly shouldn't be that hard. Over here you can see that there's a stainless steel lock face insert, integrated lock bar stabilizer right over here, so you're not going to be able to overextend this guy. You have an external lock bar relief cutout over here. You have a nice detent ball. There's no detent ball ramp in this situation, so you're gonna feel a little bit of the hard step like that, but I mean, it's nicely designed. This area, it's quite accessible. There's a cutout, there's some relief, so this is not like flush with the scale right over here, so you have some protrusion which you can access, grab, and disengage the lock bar. So really cool. You've got a 3.5 inch long ship's foot 204p carpenter steel going on. It's fantastic in the kitchen, highly corrosion resistant with a satin finish for the main bevel, primary bevel, and the swedge up here, and stone wash flat. So very cool indeed. You've got some billboarding going on the side, but you can notice it's not like perfectly aligned with the flat, and also at the back, so probably the machine was a little bit offset, and you get this I mean, it's not a defect, it's just happened to be like that. On this side you have Sinkevich design, the model number, USA, the steel employed, and the serial number. So there's quite some billboarding going on. There's no jimping whatsoever on the blade. The only jimping you find is here on the backspacer, nothing going on over here, and on the heel of the blade. So no jimping here. You've got a beautiful swedge going on up to this point, and then look at this. You have 1, 2, 3 angles creating this beautifully designed ship's foot with this very subtle hollow. I mean, it looks like full like flat grind, but the spec says hollow, so I'm assuming it's like just gently hollowed. So I don't know, let me know in the comments, guys. Here you have only belly, 100% belly up to the sharpening choil, where you can see that the blade thickens a little bit. So let's just quickly check the stock thickness of this guy over here. It's 0.155 stock thickness, and if you check, like for example, like this point over here, like so, you can see right here behind the edge, It's a little bit tricky. Yeah, so like that is 0.027. So, I mean, it's not super slicey, but it's nicely done. The grind is tall, so it's going to be a decent slicer for sure. I like the contrast between the stonewash flats and the satin grind over here. Nicely done. You don't have a finger choil, just like sharpening choil, and the flipper tab is not that chamfered, just a little bit of jimping going on. The sound department is this. Nice, clacky, and clinky. It is authoritarian sound. It's not that loud. It's not quiet. This is kind of quiet and muffled, but this, ooh, there's some echoing. This is subdued. This is not super loud, but it's like strong. Good sound. In both cases, there's a little bit of tingling sound also when you close the blade. Beautiful. It feels really good in the hand as well because the ergos are pretty much perfect. There's just a little bit lacking the jimping here, kind of like slippery, and just a tiny bit, sorry, of hot spots created by the pocket clip, but nothing too crazy. Let's just quickly check the weight on this guy because, as I said, there's no internal skeletonization, so this guy feels a little bit on the heavy side. So overall weight of this guy is going to be 6.29 ounces, so not super light, but it's a stout one. I mean, it feels the hand, you feel the heft of it, and it feels absolutely solid. There's not really any sharp edges except for a little bit of sharpness here on the pocket clip, but the grip in the hand feels absolutely comfortable. You can do a reverse grip. It's going to be missing a little chunk over here, but still the flipper tab is going to create a little bit of a finger guard going on over here, so it's going to be pretty good. Overall feels absolutely solid, especially with this back spacer right over here, almost full, so it's well put together. Nothing is moving, no misalignments, no gaps, everything is flush. There's no rattling when shaken. I mean, the blade play is absent. You have a pretty good flipper tab, so no finger soreness. You can do push button all day long, or take advantage of this angle over here and do a light switch, and this guy is going to be deploying like a boss. Of course, zero finger soreness from that. You have a stainless steel lock face insert, which is going to eliminate any kind of lock stick. This area is nicely milled, so easily accessible. You have this clip, which is absolutely functional. Probably maybe without this side would have been even perfect, but I think it's absolutely functional. Slides in and out of the pocket pretty easily, and the retention is so good that it's not gonna go anywhere. So pretty good. This guy, of course, is running on bearings. Sorry. Deployment speed is just fantastic, nice and smooth. Operation like all day long. You can like feel it. It's just whipping out like a boss. Really cool, and it's smooth. I mean, you have, like, as you can see, as soon as you disengage the lock bar, the blades is trying to close on you, but you see there's no guillotine effect. You have just to wiggle a little bit in order for this guy to close it, and it's not too bad. I mean, you don't have to wiggle that much, that's what I mean. It's very good and smooth and gentle, and also with this sound is pretty good. So no guillotine effect on the closing action, and you have nicely dialed in detent. You don't have a detent ball ramp, so you're gonna feel a little bit of a hard step like that. And this is the detent suction, so very low, like up to this height, so not so much magnetic effect. So I mean, overall, this is a really cool looking knife. I love the Sinkevich design. Ergonomics are fantastic. Premium materials for the price, $200. Can't go wrong. You have titanium frame lock, beautiful and cool looking design. A couple of issues. I mean, these screws are, yeah, you have to be careful during the disassembly. The clip is not the best looking clip on the planet, but the sound, especially the opening sound, is a nice and solid thwack. Great ergos as well, so I can recommend this guy. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.